What's going on, slave tards? Tonight I want to do a video about what I've been up to. What am I doing? What's Rawdogletard doing? Well, as you probably know, I live in Reno, Nevada, and what I really want to be doing all the time is hiking up mountains or scrambling up mountains or doing overnights in mountains. That's really all I want to do, right? But it's difficult because I kind of, I used to do IT and I did a little bit here, but I've quit so many of those jobs because I'm just burnt out on it. Like, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. But I'm like 52 and I'm a good ways from the goal line yet. But every time I try to do anything, it just takes me away from what I want to do the most, is be up in the mountains, like hiking around, and like going more and more mileage. On Friday, I was like, I was going to do this hike, and I didn't get there till like 2:20, and it's like supposed to be 16.6 miles, and I was like, I can do that before dark, no problem. And it gets dark here about 8:30 on the West Coast. So I'm like, I leave at like 2:20, 2:25, and I like book it to the halfway point in like 2 hours and 40 minutes. And I was like, man, this is easy. It's a beautiful hike, It's like the greatest trail. It's like not that rocky. A lot of, very stable sand, trails, like a really good trail. So I get there and I turn around and the sign says Tahoe Meadows, 9.5 miles. And I was like, well, this is supposed to be 16.6. And I started in Tahoe Meadows. Now it's, that's 19 miles. And, I use all trails or whatever, and it's always wrong, when I do a hike and like I have it start, and like follow me every, it's always like a mile longer than all trails. I don't know why it's so far off or whatever. But yeah, I think it was like 19 miles. And I did that, like 6 hours and 15, 6 hours and 20 minutes. And that's up and down. That's like 2,000 foot elevation gain too. It's, it was pretty tough because I booked it down in like 2 hours and 40 minutes, but on the way back it was significantly harder because it was all uphill. All the first half is downhill and the second half is uphill. Those are tough. I like to do my uphills like right out of the gate. But anyway, yeah, I want to do more of that. But when I do that, I get kind of tired. I'm getting kind of old. I want I want a rest day or whatever. You just can't do that stuff in the summertime. I live in a beautiful place if you're working a job, right? If you got to have a job, you can't do fun stuff. Like, all I want to do is fun stuff, Like, let me say, Rawdogletard, grow up, dude. I am a child. I don't want to. I've lived like an adult, right? I worked IT like a slave for, like they got every dollar out of me. They got every dollar out of me, every job. I just got burned out because I have to constantly like relearn stuff, and I was just, I just wasn't what I want to do. So here I am at 52. I'm still in the same place. I have no idea, right? Like, I don't owe anybody anything on anything, right? Like, no debt whatsoever, but healthcare is expensive at my age. And right now I'm on Obamacare. Like, I'm on Affordable Care Act, and it's $24 a month for me. My wife, like $800 deductible, super affordable. It is HMO, but you get care when you need it. It's fine, right? But Trump's going to cut that out. Trump's going to cut that out with the big bill. I'm going to be paying probably $300-400. I don't know how much it's going to go up. The subsidies that were there are going away, and I'm a big fan of universal health care only because I think it's the best system. And let me tell you why I think it's the best system, right? Some would say the best system would be insurance is illegal, free market, right? It's cash business. But the rich would always get the best care the fastest. They're always, health would always, favor the rich, which I don't think that's the greatest system either, right? I don't think that's the greatest system either. I do think insurance should be illegal because I think all it does is add cost to healthcare. I don't think it's necessary, right? So if you can't have insurance and cash favors the rich, then the only other system to be humane is everybody gets the same health care, right? And I've heard arguments, well, then the rich will go overseas. Let them go overseas, right? I think if you want to invest as a nation in the health of your people, you do it directly, right? Say, we're going to fund the research. We're going to provide the care. And that's what's happened in most civilized nations in the world, and they all have mortality rates better than America. It's like, it's settled science on what's best for people. They're dying over there in cancer. Well, why are their mortality rates, right, higher than ours? And why are we still dropping in that list if our healthcare is so great, right? It's not great for everyone. It's great for the rich. It's great for people that have money, right? And Trump used to be for that, right? Trump used to be for that. You know how much the government spends right now on healthcare? I think it spends more on healthcare now than it would if it provided healthcare. I really do. Right? It's so costly. I get $1,400 a month in subsidies, and I'm trying to make the minimum. I have to make the minimum amount of money just to qualify. It's like $29,170, right? But you don't want to make too much more, and I'm still $13,000 short this year. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't want to sell silver, right? But if I can't come up with $13,000 by the end of the year to get to where I need to be on Obamacare, then I gotta sell silver so I make up the difference. Or they're gonna tax me like $17,000 or something like that. No, so I gotta come up with that money somehow. If I gotta sell silver, that's gonna be it. But I still haven't figured out what I want to do. I still haven't figured out what I'm gonna do. I'm not, poker. I played some poker. I played the WSOP $1,500 millionaire maker in Vegas. And I came in 1,539th out of 12,000. So I got the minimum cash, which was $3,010. So that's like $1,510 profit. But I had to go down to Vegas and get a hotel room and stuff like that. So the trip was profitable, but not as profitable as I wanted it to be. So, poker is difficult to make. To make a lot of money, you gotta be playing at your best. You gotta go up in stakes, and you gotta go on a run. You gotta get some good cards, but it's tough if you're not doing that. So anyway, it hadn't been the greatest, and so I've been doing a little work here and there. This year I've done $5,000 worth of work. Nothing. I've not done anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm eating this is what I'm doing right now. I got this. Check it out. This is my high calorie ice cream. It is. It's stuffed with calories. It's organic cherries, blueberries, coconut, shredded coconut, sliced almonds, kefir, and cinnamon with a little bit of maple syrup. I need to lay off the maple syrup, but it's better than ice cream, I'm telling you. So I'm eating some of that and thinking about my next hike and trying to figure out how I'm gonna make $13,000 by the end of the year. So my healthcare is super cheap this year. Peace.